Good morning, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again for another video today. Today I'm going to be discussing artwork. Simply just artwork that I enjoy. This is simply my own speculation, of course, as with all my videos. This is what I'm gonna call the Babes edition. So every card featured and showcased in this video is going to be a female-based card, and the artworks are just fantastic, if I do say so myself. So I'm just going to get right into this. The first card that I'm going to talk about is a solo print super rare from Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, Ghost Fairy Elphobia. This card is just not really playable. Its effect just really isn't that good. Maybe eventually, maybe if what's it called? What's that deck called that plays with like the machines that look like Star Wars, and it's like a machine deck. They're psychics. Cosmos, something like that. Anyway, I never really built a deck myself. I know it's a fan favorite deck. Maybe if a lot more of psychic effect support comes out, maybe this card will hit the streets. But who knows? Right now, all I know is this card is insanely cheap. It's been insanely cheap forever, ever since its debut in this core set. I am going to go over here really quick to give you guys a closer look at this artwork because TCG Player doesn't do it justice. Really awesome. This kind of reminds me of like Secret Village of the Spellcasters or like Sleepy Hollow or something. Just really ominous, dark looking artwork here. Love her artwork, her outfit here. The dark maroon and dark black tapered leather-looking thing with the little skirt. The coolest thing I think is, I mean, she looks cool. The little anime girl here and the magic staff and all that. The background's really great. But more specifically, this raven, crow, bird, vulture thing. I don't know what kind of bird this is, but it looks really sinister and really awesome. I'm really into kind of like dark, spooky, kind of Halloween-like style stuff like this. And the anime is done really cool. I like her pose. And it's just a really cool card. Again, most important thing I think is it's a solo print. You get only get the first editions, of course. You only want to get the first editions always. Do not get the unlimiteds. Like always, looking at near mint, lightly played. And there is several pages here you can see on the market. The majority of them are ones and two ofs. Right here you can get one for about $1. There's a near mint first edition. There's another one here for a little over $1 here for first edition from Core TCG. Really great sellers. I love them. And it just goes on and on and on. And again, the majority of these are just one-ofs. I know I personally bought a lot of these myself. I really, really believe in this card. I love this card. I've talked way too long about this card, so I'm going to move on. But I'm going to leave that one up to you guys. The next card is going to be Tour Bus from the Underworld. There's a couple prints of this card. This is unfortunately not a solo print. Fortunately, not unfortunately, but this, of course, we're talking about the original print, first edition Secret Rares from the infamous Order of Chaos. Phenomenal set. Really good times when this set came out. It brings back a lot of nostalgia, a lot of good memories. So again, you want to go for only strictly the first edition. There's 3 pages left of this card on the market. And the first one here is about $5. $5 for a lightly played one here. And then it moves into $5.31, and there's 3 up here. And there's another page that you can go on to look at the rest of the first edition. So really not a lot of first editions left for this original print Secret Rare. Tour Guide from Underworld took the game state by storm. Back in, I believe, was it Extreme Victory, I believe, is when it came out. And then this is kind of like its little sister that came out. Really, really awesome artwork. I love like the Zombie Hill Ghost Souls thing in the background. The secret foiling is really, really great. These old school foilings and secrets are just really deep and really nice. And of course, the anime artwork on the tour bus is just fantastic. Like, I love all of the tour guide, tour bus artwork so much. I actually have a tattoo on my left arm of Tour Guide from the Underworld. That is how much of a nerd and geek I am for Tour Guide. She is probably my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card, at least one of my favorite Yu cards, seeing how, I got an ink stain of her. But anyway, Moving on to Legacy of Darkness, original print first editions, the infamous Injection of Fairy Lily. Everyone, especially Generation 1 classic old school players like myself, know and love this card. Really, really awesome anime artwork. This old, deep, really, really lovely secret rare foiling here. Just an all-around awesome, really colorful background, and just great anime card. And you can kind of see a lot of these cards are actually anime cards. There is, I don't want to say that the card game is over flourished with like max anime character cards. There is some really kind of like darker art you find majority in the older cards, but you'll kind of notice a trend kind of for this Babes edition. The most of the cards are going to be anime cards, so if you're not into that stuff, this video is probably not going to be for you, but I really personally appreciate the time and effort that goes into drawing these anime artwork girls for these really awesome cards. So moving on here, of course, to the Near Mint Lightly Played, we're going to try to find ourselves a first edition. There's none on the first page. Moving to the second page, we find our first editions at 22 bones from King's Games, and there's 3 of them. So a pretty decent price point. A few years ago, I was buying these first editions, lightly played, near mint, in betweens, for around 14, 13, 12 bones. So it's gone up quite significantly since about 2 years ago. So that is just an all-time fan favorite card. I think it's hard to argue, anyone would argue against that card being a collector's value card for its artwork. Its artwork is just great. Next card here is going to be Condemned Witch. Now, I know there is a couple individuals that have mentioned this in their content, and this card's great. I believe I really am kind of on the boat with them with this because this card is just awesome. You know, we have Dark Lords. That whole core deck, I'm pretty sure, is Fairy and Dark. But besides the Dark Lord cards, there's not a lot of fairies that are dark. Majority of fairies are light, so this kind of makes it unique in its own stand. This isn't a cute card. This is just a badass card. I love the artwork. I love the falling feathers. I love how her eyes are red, how her bangs are hanging down. She has like these spikes coming out, and it's just like a really dark card. It looks just so fantastic. Well done. Her like ripped kind of skirt dress looking thing is just, it's really cool. I really just love the artwork. Pretty cool name. But the thing even more so about this being a collector card having killer artwork, it has a really good effect. It's a generic, you can just push it off and then special summon 1 fairy type monster level 4, which there's so many powerful level 4 fairy type monsters in the game. So it's just a great card in general. So I mean, it has killer artwork and it has a cool effect. As of right now, it just came out. It's a newer card. Secret Rare exclusively from Soul Fusion, so only a couple sets back. And the first editions is going to be at the bottom of page 1 here, which is going to be sitting at a little over $2, so like almost $3 or so. So plenty on the market. Again, this is a newer card, but this is just an awesome card. So if you guys can get these for cheap, I would definitely recommend it. Moving on, the next card is actually bought out. Girl from Order of Chaos. Again, Order of Chaos bringing in for some really cool old school cards. You can just see the deep secret rarity in this. Just so great. I think you guys can tell by now. I mentioned a lot in my videos. Secret Rare is my favorite rarity in a game. I really like Dual Terminal and Ghost Rare, of course, as well. Ultimate's pretty cool. I kind of like them all. Kind of all over the place, but the secret rarity really does take the cake for me because when I originally was playing the game, secret rarity was the highest rarity back in the day of yesterday, and it just brings back a lot of memories, and it just holds a special place in my heart as a rarity on its own. Only 1 page of this card, and the first edition is $25, so really expensive. There's 7 of them from the seller here, and there's only 2 sellers with first edition, so clearly a buyout. I only have 1 of these right now, and unfortunately it's an unlimited one, which are actually still apparently worth $15, which is really surprising as soon as someone buys this one out for about $3+. But really crappy card. This whole deck, the Gaga, is just utter trash. It's just a really bad deck. The only reason why this, I think, was targeted for a buyout is because it's basically just a knockoff of Dark Magician Girl, in my personal opinion. Really cool artwork, though. Moving on, Magician of Faith. Of course, we have the super rare Magician of Faith from the Champion Pack 2, which is really expensive, high collector's card. Really, 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 really old, and really just unattainable. It's so expensive. There's only 5 prices on the market. It's just as old as dirt card, so I'm not going to really look at that. Or the Speed Duel stuff. I haven't picked up Speed Duel, so I'm not really familiar with that format or anything. The Magician of Faith original Metal Raiders rare would be pretty cool. But you know, it gets pretty pricey for the first edition one. Surprisingly, I mean, it's not so surprisingly. Metal Raiders was the second set in the series for the TCG, and it's just really hard to come by a nice condition first edition rare Magician of Faith original print here for us in the TCG. But more specifically, I want to talk about the Duel Saga Ultra Rare. Again, everyone knows Duel Saga in its own right has its own special type of Ultra Rare rarity that no other set in the TCG has been reproduced. It's really, really awesome. This card is slow because it's a flip effect, but it's still a level 1 spellcaster flip effect, light, which is really good synergy with a lot of spellcaster decks, depending on what you're playing. And I still think that it has an amazing effect, even though it's slow and is a flip effect. Having the ability to take a magic card and just recycle it is just so great. This card was banned for the longest time too, and it wasn't recently, kind of not too recently, that it came off, and it's at 3 now, which I think is just so amazing. I haven't personally put it in any of my decks because I haven't really found any kind of decks that I like that will really run this. The last time I ran this was back in the day, like Cookie Cutter Chaos status, like way back in the day, like back in like Invasion of Chaos, when we had original Chaos Emperor Dragon and no Errata and all Yatagarasu and Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest, which I'm going to mention in a bit here. But so it's about $3-ish for this card, and there's about 3 pages left. So I think this card is really great. Awesome artwork, killer effect. Witch of the Black Forest. Speaking of Witch of the Black Forest, here is, of course, we have several versions. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is really great. Again, secret rarity being my favorite rarity, I'm really kind of banking on hoping for a secret rare reprint for this card. This card would look so beautiful in secret rare. I would just kind of go crazy over that. Moving on to Witch of the Black Forest, of course, we have, just like Magician of Faith, the original print out of Metal Raiders first edition rares in good condition. Pretty difficult to find, pretty pricey, so kind of good luck if you want to get original print. But I want to talk more specifically about the Battles of Legends Light Revenge Ultra Rare. There is tons on the market. It's extremely cheap right now. And, you know, honestly, I have the card. I actually invested heavily in the set when it first came out, and I have tons and tons of copies of this card. And I'm going to be honest, it's really cool that it finally came out in a holo version. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I know we have like star foil and stuff. This is the first foil print that we had of this card, and this card is so old. Again, Dawning from Metal Raiders, the second set in the TCG. Extremely old, really awesome background. I love the purple hair. Just an awesome witch card in general. And back in the day, before it was errata, it had even like a more powerful effect. And there's just so much history in this card. I really appreciate it a lot. But I'm gonna be honest, the ultra rare does really not look that good. It comes off pretty cheap and just not a well-made card. It just doesn't really look good. I just want secret. Again, like Magician of Faith, I think if this card gets reprinted secret, I think that would be the card, the rarity that you guys would want to get. And I think that it would be very valuable eventually, seeing how it's just such a high history, high nostalgia card. Really cool effect, and you can still technically play this card. Its effect is just a little bit slower now because unfortunately it did get a little watered down with the errata. Next card is going to be Harpy Lady. This is the only current holo print as a super rare that we have for this card. The original Harpy Lady. Of course, it's dying from the Legendary Collection 4 Joey's World, which is an amazing set. I don't think there's a single video that I don't mention this set, or Legendary Collection 3. Those are my all-time favorite reprint sets, collection sets. They're just awesome cards. A lot of secret rares, a lot of cool rarities, some really old cards. So I would definitely recommend taking a look at those sets. So this card is sitting at, of course, you want to get the first editions. It's sitting about a little over $1. plenty in the market, more than 5 pages, so not too difficult to find. But I just think that, with the Generation 1 anime series, with My Valentine being a really, fan favorite character from the original series, and this is kind of like her, to-go main actual character art card, monster card. The OCG Japanese version is better because it's uncensored and it's just a little less modest with the apparel, which I think is totally okay. I think, this game is from Japan. Everyone should know that by now. This game originated from Japan, and I really think it's sad that the United States and the TCG censored and kind of altered these original artists' ideals and kind of the way they wanted these monster cards and these cards to look. So you guys kind of take that as is. Some people think that's kind of I don't know. Everyone has their own opinion. That's fine. You guys can tell me what your opinion is, or keep it yourself. That's fine. I just think that these cards deserve to stay in their original states when they were made by their Japanese creators. But that's just me. Moving on, this is actually kind of surprising because this is a structured deck card. We've only had one reprint since the Layer of Darkness came out. I believe it's a common, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Oh, actually, no. This is actually a solo print. This is the only print that we have. So that deck didn't come out too long ago, so relatively new. Again, this is kind of like Condemned Witch. I like this card more specifically because of its badass artwork. She has awesome horns here, the red hair, the crazy looking eyes, the wings, the position she's in, like the crazy spike tail. She is a dark fiend, and I am an extreme advent of Dark World. I've loved Dark World since the structured deck came out, and Graph is my boy. It's great. So anyway, but it's just an awesome card. Obviously this being just an ultra from a structured deck, it's got a really good effect though. So it's kind of, of late people have been kind of talking about here and there because it has been going up a little bit. Of course, there's plenty on the market, but I think, again, if this card gets reprinted at high rarity, key in Secret Rare, I think this card will look so gorgeous in Secret Rare. And if it does, I would definitely get your hands on this card in Secret Rare because it is such a beautiful card. The artwork is just so detailed, and it has a really good effect for what it is for this day in Yu-Gi-Oh! And right now it's sitting at, about a little over $3 or so. So with the new shipping stipulation here. So that is a card to consider. Moving on, of course, as I talked about in the beginning of this video, the Legendary Tour Guide from the Underworld took the TCG by storm in Extreme Victory in its original core set. Of course, later on, the Astro Pack 6, we got the Ultimate Rare. Kind of sad, I actually had to part ways with my Ultimate Rare playset. I actually just sold my playset of Altis about a month, 2 months ago. Got about $30 a piece more than what I paid originally. I want to say that, yeah, I think I paid about 90. I paid $90. I believe it was $90 for my playset originally when AP6 came out, and then I ended up selling them for almost about 90 a piece. So not including shipping and fees and all that stuff. So, got off like a bandit pretty well with that card. Felt kind of sad to part my ways with the highest rarity of one of my favorite artwork cards. But I do have my original print first edition Secret Rares, so it's okay. I really do like the Secret Rares a lot. The Ultimates look great, but I do personally prefer the Secret Rares. Again, I think Ultimate Rares are awesome, but I do prefer Secret Rares. Secret Rares is kind of a higher rarity in my personal book as a player. And so the Ultimate Rare is really expensive. Kind of calmed me down a little bit. Again, like they're going up to 90s for a while. I think mostly because of Shirabini's release and kind of the hype and people wanting to kind of bring back the Burning Abyss days, which is still a phenomenal deck. I haven't built it myself personally, but I've played against it a lot online, and it is just an awesome deck, and it's a fan favorite. So I think that deck is gonna pretty much just always be around forever. So let's take a look at the original print first edition Secret Rares from Extreme Victory. Of course, you want to get first edition, and the first edition is about 25 bones. and there's only 3 pages left, so getting a little scarce on this card. Moving on to, this is kind of another surprising card. You guys wouldn't really anticipate it. Spirit of the Fall Wind. Only 2 prints, 2017 Mega 10 and Shining Victories as rares. I have a closer picture here. Really beautiful artwork, awesome artwork. Again, this is a really not a really of course not high rarity as just being a rare. Again, if this card, fingers crossed, gets reprinted as a secret rare, I think it would be really, really great. It's kind of an obscure card, a really cool effect. You know, you can search a flip effect monster, so kind of a usable effect in my opinion. I just kind of wanted to show you this. I don't expect you guys to buy the rare. The rare is not really a big deal. There's so many on the market, and it's just not high rarity, so it's so cheap. And I never really think that this will get to a point where it's hard to get. But again, I just think it has awesome artwork. Like, I love the artwork so much. Like, I love her eyes and the wind and like the hair. It's kind of like a plant looking thing. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Hopefully Konami gives us a secret reprint, and this card would be even more so a very, very awesome looking card. I already showed you the close-up of Ghost Fairy. Dark Necrofear. Okay, so Dark Necrofear is going to be one of the last cards I'm going to mention here in this video. Everyone knows about the new support about, I think it's the Duelist Pack Bakura or something like that is coming out with Dark Necrofear support, getting a new monster, a whole bunch of crazy stuff. That was announced in the OCG. I actually recently just lucked out. I got an amazing promotional poster from one of the shops here in Japan, and it looks really, really great. I was super excited I was able to snag that. I want to talk about a lot of cool rarities. Of course, there's the original Generation 1 Core Set Labyrinth Nightmare First Edition Ultras. You can find those in good condition. First edition, it's going to be really pricey and pretty difficult seeing how it's so old. But my favorite, personally, is 2 versions, and I've mentioned this multiple times in my videos, so I'm kind of repeating myself, but you guys are here to hear what I have to say, or maybe not. Maybe you're just bored, not really sure. But anyway, you're going to hear it again. Dark Necrofear Master Collection Volume 1, the secret rare. This was kind of an obscure set that was like came in like this little like portfolio book thing with like Thousand Eyes Restrict and Relinquish and Blackluster Soldier, and I think there's 2. There was Master Collection Volume 1 and Volume 2, and a lot of awesome, cool cards. And this just really, again, deep, awesome, secret rarity. Plenty on the market here. It's showing me all the crazy condition ones here. I want to see the near mints and the lightly played. Is it gonna load? Okay, so like barely a dollar for this secret rare version. There's 4 pages left. So this card, you know, with just her like alien-like appearance and the armor and like the creepy doll with the green eyes with like the busted up skull and, you know, the really dark background. Again, it's a Fiend Dark, so really cool. You know, it kind of goes with like Dark World theme. No one really plays this card in Dark World. I mean, I guess you can technically if you get like super creative. But even more so, there is a dual terminal rare. Again, I love secret rare, but I also really, really love dual terminal. Is there anyone out there that doesn't like dual terminal? Like, dual terminal is just so beautiful. Dual terminal rare, and there is about this is almost about out. Like, I've been saying this for so long. This card has been there's been so many of this card for so long. This and like Gravekeeper Spy dual terminal rare is like so cheap. I don't know if it's been getting scarcer and scarcer as well as this card. You can see there's only 1 page left for the near mint and lightly played, and it's sitting at about, you know, roughly a little less than $1 a piece. Most of these are 1-ofs besides a couple of those 2 3-ofs there. So this card is quickly running out. I don't know if everyone kind of rushed in and just bought these all out because of the new support and hype anticipation. I don't personally really think it's going to be that good, but it's just one of my all-time favorite artwork cards for collector's value, honestly, in my opinion. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And then, of course, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Everyone knows the Ghost Girls hand traps. You want to go original print, secret rare, first editions. Those are always really pricey. I think they're always going to be kind of pricey because they kind of always rotate in and out of meta play depending on what the top tier decks are. So you guys know that. You guys, if you can find good deals, you're always gonna want to get at least a playset of the original first edition secret rares when you can, if you can, because I always think that they will hold a special place in every player's heart for collector's value and even playability, of course, um, and just really awesome artwork as well. So I wanted to show you guys something. So I am in Japan and I do collect and invest in the TCG as well as the OCG, being here based in Japan. And I've been in Japan for about 2 years now and seen a lot of cool stuff. And I don't know if you guys knew this, it's kind of easy because you can just change languages here. But I like to use the Konami website here for Yu-Gi-Oh! To kind of rotate between finding deck sets in the OCG and kind of what rarities things came out, and just to kind of show you the superiority of the original Japanese artists, their artwork. I just think it looks really cool, and I didn't put Dark Magician Girl on here. Of course, that would probably been like the #1 babe card for like collector's value and like artwork and a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and it looks amazing. He has a really bright card, deep secret rarity, all that great stuff. But the Japanese version is just so superior. Like, it just looks so much cooler. So this is one of my all-time favorite cards. Interesting card about thing about this. I think it only came it only came in a spell ruler for us. Now check out the Japanese version. Japanese version has the shorter, kind of more crimped skirt. She has red horns. They're extended, and of course you have the bust on the chest here exposed. Just completely ridiculous. Now some people kind of freak out and say like, oh, like that's too sexual or whatever. I don't really care. I just think this looks badass. This looks more like this is like a magic and like dark magic and like battling monsters and like gore and grit and like the what really Yu-Gi-Oh was supposed to be. And the censorship of the TCG is just so stupid. But at the same time, you know, it makes a secondary market, and it makes Japanese OCG cards valuable in their own merit, because it's the only format where you can get the original artwork like this, like so, which is kind of cool. It kind of builds kind of like a third market per se. But so right here, if you go to the website, everyone knows this website. You can kind of just search a card, and then you can change the language up here. This is the kanji for Nihongo, which is Japanese. It'll go automatically switch over to the OCG, and you can find the OCG sets, which still, to this day, is the same set. Metal Raiders, or Magic Ruler, I believe it was. But anyway, so it's kind of interesting. So our Magic Ruler and their Magic Ruler are still the only prints. This is a solo print in all of Japan in the OCG, with Japan and Yu-Gi-Oh even being out longer in Japan, and this has still only been printed one time. I guess technically 2 times, because for some reason this set doesn't show before the cards had like the Konami stamps, like the original like super old school, like back in like the late 90s cards. They didn't have the Konami stamps right here, or set names or anything. Like, they were just like the cards. They look really cool, and I actually have both. I have both with the Magic Ruler set stamp and the Konami stamp here in the bottom right corner, and the ones that don't have the set name, and the stamp in the corner, which I believe also have the old school text boxes. I'll have to look. It's been a while since I've looked at my old school commons Japanese binders. But anyway, Japanese artwork is really awesome. I would definitely poke into it. Obviously, if you're not stationed in Japan like me, it's more expensive and a lot more difficult to get these kind of cards. I'm super excited and really blessed that I was stationed in Japan, and I was able to access these easily and cheaply. So I'm really excited to bring them back to you guys in the TCG when I get back home in September. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So that is all I have to say about these cards. I hope this gave you some information, gave you some insight. You guys got something positive out of this video. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next video.